Welcome back to First Edition. We begin with our breaking news. US President Donald Trump has called on world leaders to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal as tensions escalate over the death of a military general in an American airstrike. He's also imposed new punishing sanctions on the country after it fired dozens of missiles on bases housing US troops in Iraq. The president says the measures will remain in place until Tehran changes its behaviour by abandoning its nuclear ambitions and ending its support for terrorism.
The time has come for the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Russia, and China to recognize this reality. They must now break away from the remnants of the Iran deal, or JCPOA. And we must all work together toward making a deal with Iran that makes the world a safer and more peaceful place. Peace and stability cannot prevail in the Middle East as long as Iran continues to foment violence, unrest, hatred, and war. The civilized world must send a clear and unified message to the Iranian regime. Your campaign of terror, murder, mayhem will not be tolerated any longer.
No American or Iraqi casualties have been reported in the retaliatory attack, but the situation remains tense. The president again justified ordering the mission to kill General Qasem Soleimani, calling him the world's top terrorist.
Last week, we took decisive action to stop a ruthless terrorist from threatening American lives. In recent days, he was planning new attacks on American targets, but we stopped him. Soleimani's hands were drenched in both American and Iranian blood. He should have been terminated long ago. By removing Soleimani, we have sent a powerful message to terrorists. If you value your own life, you will not threaten the lives of our people.
Portraits of Qasem Soleimani have been held in rallies across the Middle East, with many hailing him as a living martyr and an icon of anti-American resistance. CNN reporter Whitney Wild has more.
This is absolutely the greatest test of his presidency. He seems to be, as we as a nation seem to be, on the precipice of a real crisis with Iran. The question going into these remarks is whether or not he would de-escalate those tensions, and it seems that he was able to do so. The president reiterated throughout the speech, which, to be fair, touched on several different themes. In some moments, he said that Iran had enormous potential, while at the same time condemning past behavior. He reiterated at the very start of his remarks that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. He admonished the nuclear agreement from the past administration, called on allies to take stronger positions toward Iran, while also urging them to leave the Iranian nuclear agreement. So there is this question now about what is going to happen next. What are the real material impacts of this speech? So far, it seems that the real impact was simply a de-escalation. Reaction here in the U.S., depending on party affiliations, has been mixed. Again, some Republicans certainly praising his speech, while others questioning on a grander scale the administration's positions and reasons for why it even got to this point to begin with. Some Democrats even saying you can't truly de-escalate in good faith a situation that you yourself heightened. So there are these two competing theories following his remarks about whether or not this was ultimately a net positive or ultimately a net negative.